your house, John? Is in other words, the cameras are looking west?
This is west, right. The cameras are looking west, and whoops.
Hey, just like the old days, John's got his.
I didn't want you to miss that.
You got your
we're
phone's
not
on.
in the studio, but you feel like you're at home.
Right. Anyway, so.
But anyway, behind
west.
us would be the ocean. Right now it's all foggy.
Right.
And you can't see the ocean from here, but if you could see over those hills.
Actually, John, it cleared up a little bit because about 20
from
minutes
when
ago,
it was, yeah.
we couldn't even see that canyon.
In another 30, 40 minutes, the sun should be out.
And it will warm up.
Now, where I had to set up, we had to, at the last minute, move the table because our Wi-Fi wasn't good.
It's all about Wi-Fi.
But we were set up on the north side of the house.
Yes,
so
we
that
were.
would have kept us out of the sun.
Right.
But
this is good because we won't probably see the sun because of we're looking directly at your house.
Right.
So the sun probably won't be a factor before we get off the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had, a couple days ago, it was 100 degrees here. Yeah. It was just so hot.
You had some plant material actually fry, right?
Well, all the roses, I mean, you can see.
Now, Tiger hasn't said much of anything yet. He's busy making sure that things look good from a video audio standpoint. Tiger, how are we doing so far?
We got off to a little shaky start, but things are looking good now. So when we open
you can
the
say
show,
that with confidence.
Yeah, when we opened the show, there was a little bit of some glitchiness, but I think we're settling in now. And I will say for the people that are watching, we've got two shots that are coming across on the cameras. And one is of John's new veggie garden, which we've talked about a lot, in the past couple of weeks about, planting it late. And
right.
I mean, it looks just tremendous. Like
it does look good.
It's growing in nicely.
I have
it's
my
full.
first red tomatoes.
I was going to say, okay, you know how in my yard I have always those volunteer tomatoes, and I brought them in. We talk about the 2-bite tomatoes.
Right.
They're not quite, a cherry, but they're bigger. Number one, I feel like every year they're getting a little bigger. Okay. So they're getting big. But mine aren't even green, or mine aren't even red yet.
Really?
And they started from seed at a normal time of year. And yours you just planted what, a month ago?
Seems like 2 months ago.
2 months ago?
Yeah.
And you're already getting tomatoes off of it.
It was June when I planted, which is late for California, right? And so it's about 2 months ago. The real test is 2 weeks ago, I planted cantaloupe.
Which one? Is that from seed, or where is that?
Yeah, from seed.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now they're in the cotyledon stage.
The cotyledon stage.
Yeah,
that's in the next.
bed.
That's in the second bed.
Right.
Okay, so what we'll do is maybe we'll switch shots during a commercial to show the second bed, because in that bed you have different dividers that separate different seeds, which I'm assuming are different plants.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Now the first bed has chicken wire around it.
Yeah.
To keep the critters out. And yesterday, you kind of wonder what animals' motives are.
Yes.
But this little cute baby bunny came up to my front porch
and said, "Can you plant me some cantaloupe?"
And was looking at me.
I know what he was saying. Have you seen my friend that was in your driveway about a month ago?
And I opened the door, followed it out of the house because it didn't run away fast, which they normally do, and it hopped over into the vegetable garden.
It knew where it was going and what it wanted.
It was almost like teasing.
Now, can you find one of these critters and bring him on the show this morning?
Well, we should have plenty of birds pretty soon.
Yeah. They've been rather quiet this morning, haven't they?
So far, yeah, they usually wait for the sun. We did have a group of finches behind us.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to welcome people once again. If you're just joining us, it is Garden America, broadcasting from John Bagnasco's palatial estate here in Fallbrook, California. Welcome to those on Biz Talk Radio who obviously can't see. You're not visual, but you're audio, so hopefully the information we give you will be just as good in terms of learning about gardening and what we're doing this time of the year. It is August, dog days of summer, normally one of the hottest months here in San Diego.
How did you guys celebrate yesterday?
Was it the zucchini day?
Yeah. It's National Sneak Some Zucchini Onto Your Neighbor's Porch Day.
Yeah, I did that along with some other material and trash I didn't want I just figured, you know what? Here, have the whole thing.
Yeah.
I did. We have picked zucchini. So far, we've gotten, let's see, 3, 4 zucchini.
Front porch. Now, maybe people heard that yesterday, but I've never heard that.
That was never something that you
never heard that.
Yeah. You know, it's fun though, right? Because it brings up the concept of crop sharing, which.
But why zucchini? Why zucchini?
Because nobody eats as much zucchini as zucchini plants create. That'd be like a share a lemon day.
Yeah.
If you have a lemon tree,
yeah,
I can guarantee there's no one out there besides the Sunkist company that uses all of the lemons on that tree.
Right. And that's why people bring lemons to work. And
yes.
Put them in the kitchen and say, take what you want, take as many as you want.
Right.
Please.
Well, I'll give you an example. Those 2 limes you gave me last week, they're still sitting in the fruit bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with them.
Ripe and ready to go limes. They're big limes. So
yeah. We'll figure something out.
I have 3 lemon trees on my property.
Yeah, exactly.
One was here, a Meyer. Usually if people plant 2 trees, they'll plant 1 Meyer and 1 Eureka.
Yeah.
And I don't have Eureka. I planted like I said, the Meyer was here, but then for Brian, I planted the St. Teresa melon. Not melon, but lemon.
Lemon.
And the reason I planted it was because either you had the recipe or did you make your own limoncello?
Years ago.
Yeah.
No, you're going 10 years ago.
Well, these lemons are the type they use in Italy to make them.
Right.
Yeah. So
and does that one produce like a Meyer or Eureka lemon? Because pink lemonade, if you want to plant a lemon and not get a lot of lemons, plant pink lemonade because they just don't produce the number usually that a Meyer Eureka does. So does that St. Therese actually
the official name of pink lemonade or the original name was variegated Eureka lemon.
Good. I like pink lemonade better.
I'm the one who trademarked the name pink lemonade.
Oh, what?
And I got the title from Bill Nelson. Do you remember Bill? Did you ever meet Bill Nelson at Pacific Tree Farms?
I know. We know. We've seen Bill Nelson.
Yeah.
Well, we've had him on our show.
Right.
And he was the one who first showed me that plant. So that would have been 30 years ago.
Okay.
And I was surprised because I had never seen, first of all, a variegated lemon, variegated leaves. And then the fruit, when you cut it open, is pink inside.
Yep. And
the fruit is variegated until it's ripe. And when it's ripe, it's completely yellow.
Yeah.
So he was telling me all this and how excited he was. And I said, would you mind if I had somebody grow this for us commercially? And he said, no, just so I still have the rights to sell it myself. And I said, oh, yeah, absolutely, of course. And he said he was the one who came up with the idea. Why don't you call it pink lemonade?
No, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that one does not produce like a Meyer Eureka.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. It's like the Costata Romanesco zucchini.
Yeah.
It doesn't produce as much as the others.
But does the St. Therese one produce or no?
Well, I don't know because so far I've had 1.
Okay. But it's still young.
It's still a small tree, but now it's to the size where it should start producing. I should have a good crop next year. The Department of Agriculture was here last week. Did I tell you that?
No.
Well, they didn't shut you down, did they? Because you're still operating.
He's got one of those grades out in front of his property.
Yeah, like a restaurant. Yeah. And what do they have to say, John?
Well, they were looking at the citrus.
Okay.
And they found the psyllid that carries the Wang Long Bing.
Oh, yeah.
The citrus greening disease.
Yep.
Wang Long Bing?
Yep.
Is there another name for it? No. Citrus greening disease, I guess, would be the English translation. And they sent it off to a lab to see if the psyllid was infected with the disease.
Okay.
And they said if you don't hear back, that means it was fine. But they pulled them off both lemon trees, and they said lemons are the first citrus to get.
It'll show. In other words, that's like an indication that there's something going on.
And I have a finger lime down below, and I asked him about that because I think that's a different genus than citrus.
We're going to take our first break. We're going to take our first break.
Oh, well, when we come back, why don't we do the quote of the week?
Do we have any questions, comments? Are we okay so far, John? We're going to take a break.
A lot of comments.
Okay. Of course, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, broadcasting outside from John Bagnasco's place, his house, his estate here, and a lot of things happening this morning. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for those that are tuned in on Biz Talk Radio. In fact, speaking of Biz Talk Radio, we're going to take our first break. Thank you to Fruit of Loam, our major sponsor, and the rest of the sponsors you hear on Biz Talk Radio. This is Garden America, back after those messages I just referred to. Okay, we are back. We hope you had a good break. We had a fantastic break. Nice to be outside here. A lot going on around us. John's got the quote of the week, and I think, Tiger, you've got a camera shot on one of the roses. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
That we can talk about. So, John, the quote of the week, which if you get the newsletter and various other things that we send out, emails, Instagram, you saw the quote, you read the quote. For those that didn't, John's going to read it again.
Well, the whole newsletter was kind of dedicated to the hot time of the year. I wrote an article called Gardening on Empty, and how you shouldn't feel bad if you're tired this time of year of gardening and things are looking a little tired. It's all right to just sit back and relax and kind of contemplate what you've done.
Do you think gardeners, we always feel like we have to be doing something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm always doing something.
I mean, you look around
so
and
you feel like it, but sometimes there's a difference between always doing something and getting stressed out because it's not done. Like I, nobody can see it right now, but we're facing my Japanese rose bed, and the area to the right is manicured and ready to go.
It looks good.
And the area to the left is the before, so we have before and after.
You know what caught my attention? And again, people watching on Facebook can't see it. That row straight ahead, where there's nothing except the stalks and the thorns.
Kagayaki.
Now that looks like what will be a very healthy rose.
Well, I cut them all back. They had leaves on them, and they'll come out with new leaves, and everything that is on the right that's just been cut back will in the fall just be in. It's actually 6 weeks from now. Will be in full bloom, and it'll look good. And I put down the weed preventer and a little bit of mulch, and it just looks
Do you know why I remember the 6 week period? Because you told me years ago if you're going to enter a rose at the Del Mar Fair,
to cut 6 weeks before.
6 weeks before, so by the time you place it into the fair to be seen, it'll have come to fruition and look its best.
Well, you'll at least have flowers.
Yeah.
And that's rough. Some varieties are a little bit earlier, some are a little bit later, but
it's going to be rough.
But six is rough. Anyway, the quote, Brian, was gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade.
I liked that quote because I think that's a little bit of a issue today, is that everybody wants instant gratification.
Right.
And
I think that hire you can sit in the shade.
Yeah, but gardening is it's a lot of work. And when you see someone who has a beautiful garden, or they have a lot of garden or plants, how much work it takes and how much effort it is, and so you can appreciate that. It's kind of like, when somebody cooks a good meal for you,
right?
And
sure,
and you've all prepared meals for yourselves at some point in time, so you can understand, number one, it took a lot to prepare that meal. Number two, there's a lot that goes into it, and before and after, whether it's the dishes or the materials or the shopping and everything else. And that's gardening, because a garden just doesn't happen for you. You know what I mean?
If you left it alone, it would happen, but not the way you envision it. In other words, like we talk about roses that are in graveyard cemeteries, in the wild, whatever.
Nobody takes care
of them. They do just fine. In fact, before we were even walking this planet, for the most part, everything was fine.
Yeah.
But now we've come along and we want
to. For the most part, I think everything was perfectly fine before we were walking this planet.
Good point.
I'm not trying to be unhumanistic.
But I think we've developed our own.
It was pretty good for a few months.
There you go.
The Garden of Eden was pretty nice
for a few months. Yeah. But I think then we came along and we wanted a format.
Exactly.
We wanted things to be, everything has its place. Yeah. What did Bruce Asakawa used to say? A weed is just a flower, a misplaced flower that chooses not to grow in a row.
Yeah, well, I think that quote was from Luther Burbank.
That he used.
Yeah, I think that he had two similar. One was a flower or a weed is an uneducated flower.
Right.
I like that.
We're paraphrasing now.
Right. And what was the other one? Yeah, the other one was that wheat is a plant that hasn't learned to grow properly in a row.
Hey, what do we have going on?
I wanted to mention, though, that quote was from Rudyard Kipling.
Yeah.
Rutger. Rutger.
Which that was the
Rudyard.
house.
But it's not to be confused with Rutger Hauer, right?
Right.
Jungle Book, right?
Yeah, the Jungle Book,
Right.
The Man Who Would Be King,
Right.
Gunga Din. And we visited his home.
Exactly.
And we saw the last apple tree that was on his property that he planted, right?
Yes.
How old is that?
We saw his office where he wrote. We saw the home. We saw the estate. And walking the estate, it's almost as if I could see some of the scenes from his books.
Sure.
In his property, whether it was the creek and the trees and the plants growing along the creek and the fern grove and all this other stuff. I definitely felt, I'm like, this guy wrote the Jungle Book. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Sure.
Even though the property was in England,
right?
Even though we were not in, where was the Jungle Book based in? The Amazon or
India?
India. Yeah.
India.
I could feel like we were there from his estate. It was really neat, and that's
we had a listener years ago, a teacher in El Cajon, who had read Rikki Tikki Tavi to her students.
Uh-huh.
And in the beginning of the description of the garden, it mentioned the fragrance of the in the book he wrote Marshall Neal roses.
Oh.
Which is a beautiful hybrid tea, but she said she looked everywhere, and I can't find Marshall Neal. Do you know if it would be possible to get one, and why is there no information on it? So he had put the English spelling of Marshall Neal,
okay,
and it was actually named after a French marshal, so it was Maréchal Niel.
Okay.
Instead of Marshall Neal. So Maréchal Niel is a rose that people still like today. It's not as easy to find, but extremely fragrant. And he described the fragrance of that rose, as it's a climbing rose, climbing into trees and things. And that's kind of what you're talking about. He probably walked out into his garden, smelled that, and wrote about it.
Yeah, and incled that in his book. Yeah, exactly.
While we're on that,
we got about a minute to go. Can you squeeze it in?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
How about any questions, comments? Do we need to be responding to anybody?
How about we do this? When we come back, I wanted to. That quote that I read, the quote of the week, is kind of a common one that you see if you look up garden quotes on the internet, but it doesn't tell you where it came from. And I wanted to talk a little bit about where he wrote that, and then we'll go into questions and comments.
Well, you guys,
you can tell.
You and I just kind of show up and hope something. Well, yeah, but. In our next segment, which is one of the longer segments, and plenty of time for questions, comments here. And again, we are outside, beautiful. Sun's going to be doing its thing here in about 10, 15 minutes from John Bagnasco's place, California. I'm Brian Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. We're taking time out to give Biz Talk Radio these messages of interest. Do stay with us. Okay, we are back from the break. Thank you, those that are tuned in on Biz Talk Radio, those on Facebook Live. We are going to get to your questions, your comments. John set us up prior to the break with this segment, John. So it's all about you, my friend.
Well, I wanted to mention that quote came from a poem by Rudyard Kipling called "The Glory of the Garden," and I would encourage our listeners to Google by Rudyard Kipling, "The Glory of the Garden," because it's a great poem. And if it wasn't for this quote, I don't think I've ever read it before. But It's really cool.
You're touched.
I am touched.
You know, because you stumbled onto something you wouldn't otherwise have ever seen.
Yeah. It ends, the last paragraph goes through talking about, I think the first line is, our England is a garden that's full of stately views. But then the last paragraph says, oh, Adam was a gardener, and God who made him sees that half a proper gardener's work is done upon his knees. So I thought that was
I can't write things like that.
Yeah. So when your work is finished, you can wash your hands and pray for the glory of the garden, that it may not pass away. So anyway, but it's good.
Yeah, that sounds. It's always nice when you can kind of connect to something in the garden, like our friend Deborah Lee Baldwin,
right?
Watercolors, like that was her.
Mm-hmm.
She loved painting the garden in watercolors, and when you can kind of connect something else to what you're doing in the yard, it's a lot of fun. And I'm surprised you don't write more, because you like writing, John. Like, why don't you write poetry? And
I used to write poetry.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but I don't know why don't you write poetry?
Did you write
gardening?
haiku poetry?
I've written haiku.
Yeah,
we learned that in 4th grade. To this day, certain things stand out for Yeah, they taught us haiku poetry in 4th grade.
I think they teach you like all poetry, right? And throughout like school.
Did you learn haiku poetry?
I think we all like learn it at some point.
To me, it's etched in my mind. Like, oh,
really?
Oh, it doesn't have to rhyme. I remember that.
Oh, that was what stood out.
Yep.
That it's a poet.
It doesn't
it's a
have
poem.
To, right, John.
It
doesn't necessarily have to rhyme.
It's the number of syllables. There's
right.
3 lines, and it's like 3-3-5 or something like
okay,
3-5-3.
I'm
It's the number of syllables in each line.
Okay.
Yeah. I wrote I think I wrote 1 poem after I was married, and all my poetry was written before I was married. Well, people write poetry usually to express themselves. Yeah. And I only wrote poetry when I was sad.
I was going to say, I remember you saying your poetry was dark.
Yeah, it was kind of dark.
It was that.
It was kind of dark.
Yeah, and after you got married, I remember you've brought this up before, but I mean, the plants, I would think like at some point in time something inspired.
It's interesting. I've never ever been moved by anything in my life to write poetry.
No, yeah, I mean,
it would just be like, hey,
because you're such a happy guy.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
well, my doesn't always have to be dark.
My motivation would be more like, let's see if I can do this. So what's happening on Facebook, John?
Oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff. First of all, I want to say, everybody that's giving us a shout out, we should shout back.
All right.
Yeah, we should.
We got our friend John Clements listening.
Hey, John.
And he said hi.
Hello, John.
And
John must be listening after he does his show.
Thanks.
So for the people viewing, we did do a little bit of some camera switches, and we'll mention those. So
right.
we talked about the second bed of John's veggies, where he planted some seeds. What is in the middle of that bed, John, that's growing so well right now?
Of which bed?
The second one, the second veggie bed. See, it's right here. It's got right in the middle.
Bush cucumbers.
Bush cucumbers. That seems like a lot of bush cucumbers. Did you put the whole seed package in there?
I planted half the package, and I thought, what am I going to do with half the package?
just dumped it in.
They're probably not all going to come up.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you guys, instead of zucchini,
you're going to get bush cucumbers.
You're going to get bush cucumbers.
Got it. Okay. And then where is the cantaloupe in that bed?
It's at the
closest edge of the bottom of the camera, or at the top of the camera?
It'll be at the west end.
Well, we are at the west end.
Okay, all the way behind.
So at the top of the camera,
towards
shot.
The cashmere cypress.
Got it. So towards the top of the camera. So growing in.
Oh, just popped up. Like I said, no leaves yet. Just cotyledons.
Just
I
rabbit
love that
food.
word. I love cotyledon. I love
rabbit
that word
food right now.
Yeah. Brian, we're getting a lot of cutting in and out.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at your Wi-Fi. I'm wondering why that's happening.
I don't know.
We've got my ends.
Much seeing their cries for help. We do see it. We're just not sure what we can do about it.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's everything looks good on this end, right? For the most part, as far as leaving this area for the broadcast.
Yeah. So
it could be a lot of things. A lot of times,
slow it down. We can slow down the way we speak.
Just talk
like a little slower.
Maybe stop having fun.
Exactly. And then, John, I switched roses to Conrad March. John on the side of his can.
Yes, that's how you knew.
It doesn't say Conrad. It says Leonard.
Leonard what?
Demarche.
Demarche. It says Conrad March.
It doesn't say Conrad.
Where did you get Conrad from?
On the side of the can. It's. I'll show it to you.
Was that like me last week at your nursery when I said that's an Australian apple, whatever, and you guys said, "What is that? What is that? This nothing exists." I said, "It's written on the pot."
No, that is not anything near. I just can't read John's handwriting.
Oh, okay.
Is what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh well, that could be. That I understand.
We got about a minute before the next break.
I'm trying to find out what the heck I'm doing here.
Hey, you know what I've seen recently? Speaking of birds that John mentioned. In fact, they haven't really come to life yet, have they? The birds.
Well, I think we're talking in there.
Yeah,
they're so enthralled with our discussion.
I'm seeing more and more orioles in our patio. I'm talking about the yellow-black.
Yeah.
I've never seen one around, and I think because
there's yellow and black orioles.
Because because I think
orange.
No, these are yellow. No, these are yellow.
Then, aren't they?
No, they're big birds.
Okay.
And I think
big
it's because
birds on your patio.
We
anymore. I guess
yeah. I was going to finish this up, but we have to take a break.
All right.
A break for Biz Talk Radio. This is Garden America, Steve. Okay, so that was a little longer break for Facebook Live. The same length, obviously, for Biz Talk Radio. We were waiting for the Wi-Fi, the computer, the feed to catch up with us. And everything looks good on this end. We're strong. Wi-Fi strong, so on and so forth. So interesting. Maybe there's too many people tuned in. Did you ever think of that?
Oh, could be.
Facebook's servers just can't keep up with our show.
There you go, Facebook. There you go. There's the problem. And boy, oh boy, as I look behind me, here comes the sun.
Yeah. Well, what's really got to be kind of fun for the people watching is they saw the sun hit the ridge across from us, behind us, and now it's starting to creep up our back.
Yeah, exactly.
And and then even within the close shots, like the one of the Leonardo.
It's Leonard
Demarche.
Almost like our faithful listener, Lenore.
Oh, okay.
Leonard. Anyway, you wanted to know a little bit about that, Rose?
Yes.
Other than not being able to read the name correctly?
Correct.
It was, at the time it came out, it was used as a florist rose and was the standard for red roses. And right now, you probably would think it's not really much of a red rose, right?
Right.
It's kind of a faded red, muted red.
I wouldn't think of it as being standard.
Yeah.
Right, but I believe it came out in the 1930s or something like that. But anyway, that's the history behind that one.
Oh, okay. And so, as a florist rose, that's a floribunda, yeah?
Yeah, well, cut flowers, cut is a teen. And even
so more floribunda is more not the single stem florist rose like we think of today.
Well, just not the upright, stiff form.
Gotcha.
That exhibition form is what.
Sounds like the Eleanor Roosevelt rose.
You know what? I found that rose in Germany, and I made myself a note. I'm going to try to get that over here.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a climber, isn't it?
It's a sport of another rose, and I forget what it is. I was reading up on it. I never realized it was a sport.
All right.
So let's see. Where are Tiger, we have a question from John in Newport Beach.
All right.
And he was reading the newsletter, and one of the things in the newsletter was talking about adding mulches this time of year.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know if you could recommend a good organic mulch. I think almost all mulches, other than rubber mulch,
are organic, right?
Is going to be organic, right?
Yeah, I mean, and then you really like the black mulch like we have in this bed.
Shannon
some
likes
people
it
might consider
just,
that not organic because
right.
it has a dye.
Right.
Like you'll see the green or the red or the black.
But it's clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I only use that in the beds around the house because Shannon thinks it's neat. But I use ground up mulch. My son has a tree trimming business, and he brings everything that's gone through his chipper home and dumps it on the property.
Yeah.
So I've got all kinds of trees, and a lot of the mulch I use, from him, I think is my most successful. The plants really like it. But I have mulches that people say, oh, you can't use that mulch, like eucalyptus mulch.
Yeah.
Eucalyptus makes a great mulch, and I've used pepper tree mulch.
Yeah. You just got to be careful, right? As far as like too much, eucalyptus like mulch, like if you put too much.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Do you?
What do you think? It smothers? It doesn't allow...
He's talking about the oils.
No, I'm just talking about everything in moderation for a I think garden is good. Just like people put coffee grounds on plants. You could put too much, if you just start dumping buckets of coffee ground on your garden. Next thing you know, you've got a soupy mess of soil that just never dries
the plants
out.
Are all shaky.
Exactly.
That's how you tell.
Speaking of messes, did you happen to notice in the vegetable garden over there was some dog vomit fungus?
I did not. Sorry, I missed that.
Just a little bit.
What?
Just down, just a touch.
Like this?
Just a dog. Wait, dog vomit. What?
Dog vomit fungus.
I've heard a lot of firsts today.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before, haven't we?
I
think
we talked about a dog returning to his vomit.
No.
It's one of your favorite scriptures, right?
Exactly. John knows what I'm talking about.
So,
explain, Lucy.
Well, no, it's a type of fungus.
Right.
It gets the name because it looks like dog vomit.
Yeah.
Well, what's different from dog vomit than other vomit?
Go look at it.
Yeah, it looks like vomit.
During the break, go look at
it's
it.
It's a fungus from the soil. It's from soil or from barks or mulches.
And somebody decided it looks like dog vomit. So
and that's what they named it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like spittlebug looks like somebody spit on your plant.
Spittlebug. The spittlebug. Okay, welcome back. Doing our best to try to track down some of the intermittent breakup here on Garden America, Facebook Live, Biz Talk Radio. So thank you for your patience. John is actually in the house making a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
A macchiato for me.
Caramel macchiato. Fancy coffee.
Coffee.
And I know that we did break up during my talk of mulches. I did post the company name and the product name on the chat. But for those of you that maybe are listening and don't follow the chat, Agriservice, it's at the El Corazon facility in Oceanside.
Say it correctly. Roll the R's.
El Corazon.
El Corazon.
And the product I like is Forest Mulch. They have a whole slew of like 8 different mulches: Forest Fines, Forest Mulch, Playground Mix, Gardner Bloom Mulch.
If you have kids, I would buy the Playground Mix.
Exactly. So they have a whole line of them, but they are a facility that takes in green, runs it through a mulching process, and then it has it available for you to come and pick up, or they deliver it too. And I will say, for those of you that don't understand this process too, is there's the companies out there that, and I support this, but, the Chip Drop, which is basically teams up with tree trimming companies. And when somebody says, oh, I want a load of mulch, the tree trimming company will come and drop it in their driveway for them because it saves them from taking it to a dump or
You're doing
facility.
them a favor.
Yeah. When you buy it from a facility, you're just hopefully getting a little bit more of a clean product because you might, out of the back of a tree trimming truck, they might have thrown some weeds in there.
You're going to get debris.
Some other debris in there where, if you're getting it from a facility, hopefully they've composted it a little bit, heat treated it a little bit, refined it a little bit, and you can get a little cleaner product from it.
Got some good news out of Pakistan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, our buddy Histam said that he's he's a proud father because his son is starting his first semester as horticulturist from Peshawar University in Pakistan.
Wow! Congratulations!
Yeah, congratulations! Absolutely.
Yeah. And
wow,
he
that's
said
good.
His dream to see his son, who well,
really.
Yeah.
We were looking at those. We were looking at the rooftop gardens from.
We had a hotel.
Was it from the hotel?
And on the balcony, I think we spotted some, because in one direction was the water, the boats, and the other direction was the various, call them condos or whatever, that had all the rooftop gardens up there.
So the biggest thing with rooftop vertical garden that people need to learn is nutrient, I think, because that is the one thing that you know, like we talk about all the time. When you plant a rose in this hillside back here, John, we might not think it's great soil, but there's still a lot of nitrogen, phosphorus, potash in that ground that
right.
even if you completely neglected it,
right.
it's going to grow fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Rooftop gardens to be heavy because otherwise it'll just cave in the roof.
Right.
So they're all designed to be lightweight, and so you have to recognize in the plant what it's showing you. Does it need nitrogen, phosphorus, need certain other micronutrients, and then you have to supplement that with some kind of liquid form of it to be able to. So I think rooftop gardening is like it's going to be a whole nother science level.
Yeah,
you
right.
know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. And do you know that they have these meters for grapes that can tell you the brick, which is like the sweetness
of the
grape
level.
So I can only imagine they're going to have these little meters for your plants that can tell you
what it
needs, or what it has,
or it'll tell you whatever the soil content is lacking or has too much of.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That reminds me of I think we've talked about this before, but Hans Gubler was who pretty much, I think, revolutionized the orchid business here in California, actually the United States.
Is he the one that delivered orchids to Raymond Burr?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
But Tiger, you probably remember this because it might even still be going on today. They had 3 different types of fertilizers for orchids, starting with cymbidiums and going to other things. But the fertilizers would be, this is what you use when it's dormant. This is what you use to get it to bud. This is what you use at this time of year. So 3 different ones, and all different analysis. I think
to match the growth stages, or
supposedly.
Okay.
And I think like the blooming stage was like a 0-30. 0, something like that.
It's like as much phosphorus
as you can
possible.
get.
Right. And he came out with his own fertilizer, which I think was something like 23-9-17 or something.
That sounds like a football play.
Yeah, something close to that.
23-9-17.
Yeah. The waitress, by the way, is bringing your coffee.
Oh, wow.
The waitress.
Thank you so much.
Oh no.
It's
Too
right full to the top,
full.
isn't it? Look at that.
Jeez, that is a full cup of coffee.
Wow.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Eggs over easy.
Yeah.
She's got that, I think. Yeah.
So anyway, his was that, and I asked him. I said, "Do you have the ones for the other times of the year?" And he said, "No. This is all you need." And I said, "Well, why don't you need the different formulas?" And he said that he spent 2 years taking leaf and nutrient analysis of orchid leaves for, I think he did it once a month for 2 years. And he said it never varied.
Yeah.
It was always 23-7, and I'm just making this up because I don't remember, but 23-7-19.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Well,
Let's see. Tiger Tanty says, and you might know what he means.
She likes the Country Club mulch,
right?
And that's one of the types of mulch that they sell out of that El Corazon facility there in Oceanside. So Country Club is a great one. I would say it's very similar to forest mulch, and it's actually, if I remember correctly, a mix between the Garden Bloom and the forest mulch. So this is the Country Club. Fancy name for it. Yeah.
How about that?
How's your coffee?
You know what? It's really good. Now, I've never drank a quart of coffee before.
I'm gonna have to stop like 4 times for him on the way back home.
But it's very good. That's one heck of a. I was thinking more the size of what you had there, but
she didn't want it to get cold.
Yeah,
so you can drink it till it gets cold.
I
and then stop.
Appreciate that, and I'll make sure I empty myself, Tiger, before we leave.
To go back onto John's point of these ideas of products that are put into the marketplace and all of that. Now, number one, I would say even today that a lot of what people do for gardening is based on their own personal experiences and success and failures. We talk about little home remedies that people use, whether it's putting eggshells in the hole or planting it during a full moon, or all of that stuff is going to be based on a lot.
Somebody's going to say it works for me.
Yes.
Somebody else says I would never do that.
Exactly. And with these ideas, like what we want to emphasize is that the baseline is, if you're planting in a garden in the soil, there's a 90% chance that your plant's going to survive with just you planting it, watering it, taking good care of it.
The basics.
It's going to grow.
The basics.
Yes, if you want it to thrive, maybe you do this, or you change this, or you add that. If you're wanting more production or more blooms or more, whatever it may be.
Are you happy just being a C student?
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, you could be just as successful by just putting a little bit of extra care.
Right. Well, this is a good time for a break.
All right.
As we stay on time for the network, Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live, thank you for joining us, broadcasting from John's property here in Fallbrook, California. Thank you so much. I'm Brian Main, John Bagnasco. Tiger Palafox, we got to pay some bills via Biz Talk Radio. Okay, back from the break here. Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. You put those together, it equals Garden America. And Tiger, for those watching on Facebook Live, you were commenting on some of the lighting because of the sun, which is now coming. Now, is it like this every day with the sun, John?
Comes up every day here.
Okay.
And you know what?
It's not just a special day for us.
And because we're in California, it comes up in the east.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. When we're done around the other side of the house, I'd like to see that.
Well, it's already up now.
I know, but we can't. I want to see it directly.
Can you imagine if we lived in a world where, like, it wasn't on some kind of weird on a schedule? Way coming up that day.
And Vegas odds.
Yeah,
it's going to come up in the north today.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that happening?
Oh wow!
I remember in high school we had a guy that was, in high school you're kind of mischievous, and we had a guy that was, he was kind of trusting.
Kind of trusting?
Or naive.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right.
But he had gone to Florida and came back and told us that he tried surfing and that he really liked the ocean. We were in Michigan, and he was saying how warm it was, and he said he just really liked the waves because they're so much bigger than lake waves, right?
Oh my goodness.
And I just said, yeah. I said, isn't that weird though? Like if you lived in Japan, the waves would be going the other direction. And he goes, what? I go, yeah. I said, when they get here, they're coming on shore, but
they leave the beach.
They're leaving. He goes, wow, I never thought of that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, I want to get back just quickly to our conversation before the break. We talked about, Tiger and John, what works for me and what I would never do. Would you say that there are a lot of unnecessary products on the market? In other words, there's the basics of gardening: water, fertilize, maybe something to help instill the soil with vitamins or whatever. But then you must have 10,000 other things that you're like, come on.
And are you making an analogy between this and supplements and medicines?
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay, yeah, sure.
One, you're treating the garden and plants. The other, you're treating people.
Yeah.
And there's whatever people can sell. They'll
sell it because it's more money in it. And I think a lot of it has to do with people not really fully understanding what they're doing, lack of education. I mean, you can be a gardener and do the basics and not really delve into layers and layers of really, what it takes and still be successful. So those are the people they prey upon. Hey, you need this. You think your plant looks good now? Add some of this.
Now, there used to be a fertilizer company in San Diego, and they were one of the first people I think that realized that, at least in dry fertilizers, that the more SKUs that you had, the more shelf space you got. And they were selling sweet pea fertilizer. I mean,
how many people need sweet pea fertilizer, right?
And how many sweet peas? How many sweet peas need their own special fertilizer?
Yes, which means that whatever they were selling would probably work on something else as well.
On anything,
if it was legitimate.
Well, I've mentioned it before. My idea on why people think roses are so difficult to grow, and why there's so many recommendations. You can search the internet, like, how do I care for my roses, and come up with hundreds and hundreds of methods. And the reason with fertilizing any plants is the same thing that applies to roses, that roses are so tough that they grow in spite of what we do,
right?
Not because of what we do.
Exactly right.
So people are successful when they do something, and then they think, oh, it's because I did this.
Yeah.
And then you tell your friends, they come over, how do you have such nice roses? You say, oh, because I do this.
Well, and I might be shooting ourselves in the foot right now, but I'm going to try to do this as nicely as possible, because you bring up a very valid question. And we got an email this week from a company that would like to be on the show. Okay? And what they're selling has been proven fact. Okay, it's not false, but it's also, do we need this? Do you really need this product? What it is a product that is a solar-powered speaker that you put in your garden, and it has a soundtrack that plays noises for your plants that are said to promote growth and blooming. And it's proven fact. They've done the research, right? That
is that the one that they said increases the thickness of the cell walls in plants?
I didn't really dive into what it is.
Is there some kind of a tapped-in vibration matching sound waves?
It is. It's we've all seen the research that I played music for my houseplants and they grow better.
But this is specific.
This is very specific.
What kind of noises? And did he?
No, it shows on the website. Like, again, they want to be a part of the show, so I'm not gonna say it because I don't. Okay.
By the way, he hasn't signed his contract yet, and it was pretty big.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He said he'd listen to the show today and see what he thought of it.
Right, exactly.
But I mean, no, in what they're saying, what they're selling is fact. It does benefit plants to have sound and vibrations and all of that kind of stuff. They've done that research in a lab, and they've proven that. Right. So it is true. But it's like, do you, as a gardener, need this?
When I noticed the difference, if we did like a test, where that bed over there had no sound, no vibration.
Well, he said you would, and as I recall, what fascinated me was that he said he spent 20 to 30 years studying this.
Yeah, this is not just like he just said they are. But
I have a hard time breathing for 20 or 30 years or doing anything consistently. That's a lot of research.
You're pretty consistent in the breathing now.
I've got that down. No, I'm making my point is this. My goodness, really that long to come up with something that it works.
Yeah.
But did you change the world?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and to him, or to them, like they did, because they feel they have a very important product that they want to share and get out with the world, because it's going to benefit you as a gardener.
Your
plants are going to grow better. You're going to get better production. You're going to get better growth.
Okay, here's my next question, because this is what I do for a living, John. Does it work for all plants or certain individual plants, or are there certain sounds that are better for a certain variety of plants? In other words, is it just general for everything?
And I think you just hit on the subject of fertilizers. Like, I'm sure that you can sell.
Right.
Well, look at, hey, if you have houseplants, play this soundtrack. If you've got roses, play this.
Oh.
If you got a vegetable garden, play this.
There was an LP that came out in the 60s, late 60s, which was the earliest houseplant craze, I guess. Well, Victorian times was the earliest, but then there was houseplant craze in the 60s, and they released an LP called Music to Grow Plants.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to take a break as I look at the clock here to stay on time for Biz Talk Radio. Any questions, comments? We are right here. We are broadcasting live from John's Place, Fallbrook, California. Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. I'm Brian Main. A break for our friends on Biz Talk. And we are back. During the break, Tiger played some nice soothing music for us, John, and I feel better.
I do too.
Yeah, it was nice. Nice little break. Music.
I guess I have to talk into the mic, right?
Yeah,
it's an
that'll
option.
work.
It's
Yeah.
right there. If
People
you need
hear
it,
you.
It's an option. Now, you know what's interesting with that? You could put all those sounds on your phone on a Bluetooth, and then just hit a button and play whatever sound you wanted.
Yeah.
Well,
It's really
also,
neat.
how
Really
big an
neat.
area would that cover?
Right.
Like,
The
do I need
speaker.
loudspeakers
Right.
there?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, hey, these are all very valid and great questions, and again, we went back to topics of what is on the marketplace for gardening that you really need, and then what is on the stuff that's just, hey, I'm interested in gardening, and these are products that are going to help me. They're proven to help me, but it's like, do I really need them to garden? Do I really need it to grow a plant?
Well, Veronica in Spring Valley is pointing out that people have different regimens for growing different plants. And
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
the one that she uses is survival of the fittest.
Yep. Plant it. If it works.
By the
go
way,
for it.
our buddy Veronica in Spring Valley is moving, she said.
Uh-oh.
And
To where?
To where?
well, I didn't catch that if she did say, so we hope she stays in the area.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said she has lots of plants in pots, so those are going with
Going
her.
with her.
But
Nice.
I'm not really sure where she's gone.
Hey, real quick, this caught my eye. In front of us, for those of you that are watching the program on the table, John put a beautiful pot of impatience.
Right.
And then I always get these confused. Can you tell the difference? Is this Scotch or Irish moss?
Yes.
It's
Irish
it's a
is
combination
Irish
of both.
Is the deep green.
deep green,
Okay.
right? And Scotch is the
lime
chartreuse.
Green. Yeah, chartreuse. Perfect.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So Irish is the deep green. Scotch is the chartreuse. And
as soon as they needed water, they would wilt.
And you know what? My wife had planted that up, and it had a double impatience in the center that she didn't like. So we pulled it out, put it somewhere else, and
It's happy?
Just stuck this in, and this seems to be happy there.
yeah, yeah. No, I like the use of the Irish
Yeah,
moss.
yeah,
I
exactly.
really like. Because it's got that ferny kind of cascading look.
I like the blooms on it. They're not
Yeah.
open right now,
Are they
but
white? Will they be
during
white?
the sun, they're the little white, like drops that are just scattered through it.
Yeah.
It's like moss dandruff,
Moss dandruff.
but it's really cute, I think. Anyway, that was an easy one for me to lift.
Yeah.
The other one that we had with the Dipladenia was pretty heavy, so
Yeah.
I had that set up in our first setup over there.
But we changed that on you.
But you changed it. Well, we know for next time.
You do have a lot of pots on your patio. How often do you water the pots on the patio?
If the weather's like this week, daily.
Yeah, okay.
You walk up and down every aisle.
No, the ones on the patio. Those are all Shannon's.
Okay.
But
all right.
if they die, it's my fault, I think.
Just guilty of association.
Because I've got the hose out there, and really, why can't I just water it since I already have the hose
Yeah,
out?
since you're already doing it.
Right.
I have a funny story about some gardening mishap this week. So I have some queen palms in my backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and they're near the pool, and so when they go to seed and flower, they make a horrible mess in the pool. So I try to catch the seed and flower before it opens.
No pool cover?
No pool cover.
All right.
But I try to catch the seed and flower cycle before they open, so that way I can just, take it down, not have to deal with a mess. And so I was up there, and I'm pulling off the seed and flower. Some people call them missles because they're just like these big, elongated seed pods or flower pods. Very heavy, by the way, too. And I was pulling off some of the fronds that were getting old. And I have a plumeria that I really like down below it. Trying to do my best to not have them fall on the plumeria. Mm-hmm. I failed. And one fell right on the plumeria and kind of like broke it in half.
Oh, no.
It is an no. I was not happy about that. I was very disappointed in
one
myself.
thing you were very aware of that you didn't want to have happen.
But the beautiful thing about growing a plumeria is that all I did was take those, pop those cuttings into pots, and now I'll have 8 more of those in another year that are going to be hopefully perfectly healthy and
Now,
fine.
You're up on a ladder when you're doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, I knew what I was doing and I knew the risk, but that is the beauty of being a plumeria grower, is that even your failures could be successes in that way of, like if you dropped a branch on your roses, it would break apart your roses and you'd have to trim them up and clean them up. But like wouldn't be easy for you to just take cuttings of those roses and then grow new ones.
No, even though I do that all the time, but it's not easy.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of growing a plumeria, though.
Cliff Orant, who used to own Euro Desert Roses in Morongo Valley.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it before and how Morongo Valley was rose hell, in my opinion.
Yeah, you were like, why did you start there?
Way out here, right?
Why did you go here?
And the winds there were so strong, they would blow the leaves off the plants, forget the flowers. But anyway, he moved to Cathedral City.
Right, just on the outskirts of Palm Springs.
Right.
Same area.
And brought a lot of his roses with him. And then little by little stopped growing roses, I guess mainly as they died, and replaced them with plumeria.
Really?
And he probably has 200 plumeria, 200 different plumeria.
Awesome.
And some of them, the reason I brought it up, because you were talking about dropping things on the plumeria. He has plumeria that are 15 feet tall.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm surprised how well they do there, because wouldn't you think it's definitely hot enough?
Yeah.
But wouldn't you think it would get cold in the winter?
Yeah. Like you said, like I don't think it's so much the heat, because they can water and it's hot and they don't mind that. But they're so full of liquid that when it's cold, it freezes, and that's the biggest issue, is that water in the plant is freezing. You would think it would kill it. And
so what's his success?
Because mine freeze here.
Yeah.
I've probably lost 80%, 90%.
So what's he
do?
What's he do? I mean,
I don't know. That's the funny thing. Like John
the
said,
desert's a great climate for it, I guess.
Yeah, but what about at night? What's his answer to that? What's he do?
I don't know. Maybe it's just
something
different.
you still has to answer for, Brian.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised you're not on the blower talking to him.
I'm not a big deal about
I'm intrigued. I want to know, what are you doing, Cliff?
Yeah.
And,
I don't know.
And I will say though that sometimes it's a little bit different, just like it's a different heat. Humidity heat, different dry heat.
Right.
So maybe that freezing is different than the freezing here, where maybe it's a bit more of a damp frost.
Or does it not freeze?
Yeah, or does it not freeze? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if anybody's listening in Cathedral City. Let us know.
Or listening. Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I noticed my plumeria, my big one in the patio, is doing really well. It loves the heat. It's just like
plumeria are native to Mexico, right? Baja. Yeah.
Right. Which, like you say, there's a lot of like dry area ones that do grow well and will do that. But I don't know if they get cold like you say.
Right.
But
they probably don't freeze.
Yeah. Interesting. Cliff, we're intrigued.
Yeah, what's going on,
We're intrigued
Cliff?
by anybody who is growing plumeria in very cold areas.
Right.
What they've seen. Because maybe it just requires them to become tough. Like
maybe after a season,
they
acclimate to the environment that they're in,
and they harden off to be able to kind of withstand.
It goes back to
that.
our conversation about leaving plants alone; they'll do just fine for the most part.
Yeah.
Paula in Fallbrook has a good idea. She just says water with antifreeze.
There you go. Yeah.
The Paula also mentions that if she could just control the critters, rabbits, gophers, squirrels. So many things this year got eaten.
Well, that's when you live in Fallbrook. It's one of the areas. I mean,
you know, I really empathize with her.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I have a rose called Empathy.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sorry you bought it?
No, I'm glad I bought it. It's one of Berling Leong's creations. It's one of the newer ones I got. But yeah, I told the story at the beginning of the show about the rabbit and then the squirrels, and it's just.
We're going to take a break.
Fortunately, the gophers have been pretty much under control.
Yeah, it's because the word's out.
Yeah.
What you do to them. We're going to take a break. We have our final segment coming up after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. Having a good time. Thank you for hanging in there. This is Garden America. And again, one more segment, one more break back after these messages. All righty. If it's a horse race, the final furlong, right?
What is a furlong? One lap? Or is it just a straightaway?
John, you bet on horses quite a bit. John's always at the track.
Furlong was a naval measurement.
The final turn.
I don't know.
Someone's going to jump
knots.
in there. We're just having fun.
Knots. Naval.
Oh, knots is naval.
Yeah, that's exactly knots. How many knots are you going?
Yeah.
Which is different than land speed. And here comes the helicopter.
That looks like an important helicopter.
It's going. You know why
We're
he's flying?
lucky it's not hot and the air conditioning's not turning
He's flying with
true.
purpose.
Yeah. So
Are you working today?
I'm not working.
Good.
I'm working in the yard today. My goal today is to check the irrigation on the bed next to the pool. And things are growing really well there, so I'm thinking I can kind of decrease the irrigation, like lower the amount, and so we'll see. Oh, look at that guy saw us and is now going to be looping.
He's wondering what are they doing out there?
I wonder if our listeners can hear the helicopter right
I'm
now.
sure,
sure,
right?
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Yeah. They turned right over your home. Like, is your home like a flight path?
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, turn at this house right here with the roses all in the front yard.
Well, you see over to the northwest over there where that Big Rock Mountain is?
Yeah.
That's Camp Pendleton in that area.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Duluth.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And
big
then-
that White Rock Mountain. That's Camp Pendleton.
Well, on the other side
On
of
the
it.
other side.
Yeah.
You ever hear the
that's where they come
Marines?
from. And the house shakes sometimes.
Ooh,
From,
ooh, ooh, ooh.
no, not from
not
that.
them.
From them exploding.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it echoed all the way
Ooh,
through
ooh.
the valley like that? Yeah.
Carla's reminding me that we did not answer her question on the secret rose.
Secret.
It's a secret. We can't.
What is the
Can't
question
answer
on
that over the
secret
air,
rose? I don't
right?
remember the question.
I know because I passed it and
You forgot it?
I was getting ready to answer it, and then Brian distracted me. And now for some reason I can't go back.
What is the secret rose? Is that the name of the rose? The
Yeah.
secret?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that. Oh yeah, gosh, we just had this conversation not more than 5 minutes ago, and I said, "Oh, are you sorry?"
Who's sorry now?
That's Brenda Lee.
Oh. I don't know why I can't go back. Her question was about pruning.
Well, scroll up.
I can't.
You can't go up.
Well, no, I have to go back.
What was her question, though? Pruning roses?
Yeah. It was pruning her secret rose. If I recall, Carla, and let us know if it's not, I'm not correct. But I think she wondered if she could prune her rose now, cut it way back so that it would come out with a nice blooms in the fall. And if
because normally it's too early to cut back.
No, just because she wants to know.
Can I hard prune it now? Yes.
Yes.
Because I can't turn the camera right now, but John, the roses that
John
he was
just
talking
did
about,
that right in front of us.
Just hard pruned all of them. Not one leaf is left on the rose. Just
some
branches.
of them look like spring, right?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And I think, you know what? I think I'm going to do that when I get home this weekend because I've
Just
been
cut
looking at
them
my
back.
roses and I'm like,
Yeah, they look tired.
they do look tired.
Yeah. Yeah, you can cut them back now, and I think we were talking about earlier, the general rule of thumb is 6 weeks
Yep.
to bloom.
So I think
Now,
that's what I'll do.
Usually people want to know about, I want these roses in bloom for the wedding.
Yeah.
If you're having a
6
garden
weeks.
wedding. Yeah, so approximately 6 weeks.
And,
And it depends on the time of year, right, Tiger? Because in the summer, you have longer days. In early spring and late fall, the days get shorter. So might require a little more time.
right, as far as like the grow back
Right,
time.
so maybe like 7 weeks.
But I will say the beauty of roses is compared to some other plants out there, hard pruning. A big reason why some people get scared of hard pruning in the summertime is when you open up the light to the stem of the plant. It's
about
very
burning
dangerous. It'll burn it.
Right.
Roses, that doesn't happen though. Like,
I think that
Well,
looks,
you know what? It depends where you are. In
Oh,
the
really?
desert.
it'll happen.
It would. Yeah, in
So
the
you
desert.
need the foliage to shade it a little bit.
Right.
Gotcha.
And that's true with some trees, too.
Yes.
I think that looks so good. I think that's like a fresh haircut. That just looks, it looks,
I love how Brian's like, that looks so good. There's not a leaf on it.
No.
There's only thorns showing. That's wonderful.
it's like you get a puppy and you see it has the puppy's got the big paws and you say he's going to grow into a nice big dog. I can tell. That just looks like that rose is going to be healthy.
Oh man.
That's a healthy cutback. Look at that.
But with the roses, it's nice that you can do hard prunings because you don't have to worry too much about the stems getting burned. They're very hardy and they can tolerate some sunlight. But as John mentioned, in the desert where it does get hot, you still want to shade the plant a little bit.
A couple of minutes to go, guys.
That could
Just
burn it.
to keep you on track. Go ahead, John.
Before the show's over?
I thought we just started. This was first segment number 1, wasn't it?
What are you talking about? Where are we?
Happens when you get older, right?
Yeah.
Kevin was mentioning, Kevin and Coeur d'Alene
Yep.
was saying that you should experiment with the different types of music and
Yeah.
see what they like
Yeah,
better.
They've
hard
done
rock, heavy metal, classical. I think
Like I
somebody.
said, that's all been done.
it's
before.
all been done
Yeah.
before. Yeah, with
Yeah.
the different kinds of music.
And Veronica mentioned that the Rockefeller Rose would probably like heavy metal.
Hey, real quick, I don't know how much time.
We got about a
easy-
minute. We got a minute.
This is an easy one for you. Kevin says, "Is there any
1 minute, John.
roses that don't have thorns?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes,
Green Planet.
a
I don't
ton.
have thorns on my Green Planet.
A lot of florist roses don't have thorns
Yep.
for obvious reasons, right? They try to breed them that way. And then there's a line of roses that Harvey Davidson came out with called they're all called smooth, like smooth. Yeah.
We got to roll. Yeah, and anyway, to
Why
answer
do
your
we
question,
start him and then you cut him off.
All right. Well, Kevin, just
yes, the
Google-
answer is yes.
Google thornless roses.
Lots
There
of
you
them.
go.
And you'll come up
We
with
got to stay on time. Thank
Right.
you for joining us, Tiger. Good job, John.
I keep telling you, let's do 3 hours. Next
Okay,
time.
and the last hour just for us and those that care.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We don't know where we're going to be next week. We'll figure something out. Kid be back at the nursery. For the entire crew, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, I'm Brian Main. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay cool, be safe, and we'll do it again next week. Thank you for hanging in there. This has been, and always will be, Garden America. Take care.